everybody, my name is Chris and welcome back to Guitar Lessons with Chris. Today I'm going to be talking about some tips that I have when purchasing your first guitar. Now I do have several tips that I would like to share with you, some from personal experience, some from other YouTubers and other musicians that I've asked throughout the 11 plus years that I've been playing guitar and music, and I feel like these will help you when purchasing your first guitar. Now, purchasing your first guitar can be a daunting task in itself. It could be almost as stressful as trying to learn, because you want to make sure you want to get the perfect guitar for you when starting out. And there are just a couple suggestions I have. The first suggestion I have is whether you want to play acoustic or electric. That's completely up to you. If you like the sound of acoustic and you just want to strum near a campfire, or you want to just come home, pick up the guitar, don't have to plug in, you can just strum and make a beautiful sound. Get the acoustic guitar. There are three types of acoustic guitar. There's a nylon classical guitar, there is an acoustic guitar, and then there's an acoustic electric guitar. The nylon is, the strings are easier to play. They're not as rough of a material as the steel strings. It's easier to fret, and classical guitars like it because of the flat fingerboard and the radius around the guitar, and they're able to fingerstyle and pick with that. Acoustic guitars are just normal acoustic guitars, nothing fancy about them. They can be cutaway or they can be non-cutaway. That's completely up to you. I personally prefer cutaway. I like the look of them better and the sound better. But if you don't really care and you're not going to really be playing past the 10th fret, just stick with a standard non-cutaway. An acoustic electric guitar is the same thing, except it has a pickup and an electronic system that allows you to plug in directly into a PA, and you can amplify your guitar sound that way. Now we're going to be focusing on the electric guitar, which is my main passion. My first suggestion when buying an electric guitar is figure out who your heroes are, what they play. Are some of your heroes like Jimi Hendrix, John Frusciante, David Gilmour, Stevie Ray Vaughan? Then you might want to look into like a Fender Stratocaster or something of that nature, an S-type guitar. Usually it has a single coil configuration, has humbucker, single coil, or you can go fancy like I do with my Fender Strat and go humbucker, single coil, humbucker. Then the Stratocasters are super easy to mod. They're extremely easy. They're really cheap considering everything that you're able to do with them, and they have a nice jangly tone and not a nice heavenly tone if you like that. So if you like one of those heroes, I would suggest look into a Fender Stratocaster or an S-type guitar. Maybe you're like me, whose heroes are Jimmy Page, Slash, Randy Rhoads, Buckethead, Zakk Wylde, etc. If you like them, you're going to pick up the quintessential guitar, which is the Gibson Les Paul, or you can pick Epiphone Les Paul, or anything like a single cut guitar. Now typically they have humbucker, sometimes they have just a single humbucker, sometimes they have P90s. If you like them, get that. Maybe you want to be experimental. There's all sorts of different brands out there. There's Jackson, there's Ibanez, there's ESP, who are geared towards metal and fast shredding and playing. It just depends on who your heroes are. My next tip is going to be figure out what your budget is. If your budget is around $200 to $350, then go with something like that. You can find many great guitars for under $350. Epiphone makes some killer guitars. There's some Jacksons, there's some Squiers you can get, there's all sorts of stuff. Maybe your budget's maybe around $500 to $800 for your first guitar. Then you could probably look into like the PRS SE line, you can look into the Fender Mexican Standard Series, you can look into the lower end Gibson high-end Epiphone. Now I learned on a $25 First Act acoustic guitar, which was literally about that big. I don't have it anymore. I don't know where it went. It was not the best guitar at all. It had terrible action. It wouldn't really stay in tune. But it was my first guitar, and I learned on it until I got my next guitar. I mean, it's nice because it's cheap. I wouldn't recommend getting something like a First Act, or maybe even something you would get on Amazon for $60. I mean, you can find some nice stuff, especially like in pawn shops, but sometimes the action's not going to be great. It's not going to be tuned well. You're not going to enjoy it. It's not going to feel great. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. That's why I recommend the $200 to $350 range if you can. My next tip is go play the guitar. Now, I am a huge advocate of playing the guitar before I buy it. I would recommend trying out the guitars, playing them, trying the different settings on clean and overdrive. If you can't, then I would suggest watching some YouTube videos. One of my favorite channels to watch when looking up gear reviews and guitar reviews is Andertons. They're based out in Guildford, UK. They are a fantastic company. They have their own website, they have their own store. They've been doing it for over 50 years, and they know what they're doing. They do great reviews. Those are some of my tips. There's just a few tips that I have when purchasing your first guitar. If you have any other questions, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I would gladly answer and talk with all of you guys if I can. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Please leave a like and share this video with your friends. And until next time, keep rocking.